Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kairos Media. I'm Joseph, and today we have with us a young, dynamic priest, Father Justin Joseph Panachickal. Father Justin is a retreat preacher in Charis Bhavan Retreat Center, Kottayam, India. He's also the chaplain of Jesus Youth Kottayam Zone. Welcome to the conversation, Father Justin.
Thank you.
Yes. Father Justin, I would like to start with that golden period of our life that we call our childhood. We'd like to know more about your childhood, your parents, your family, and your growing up years.
Yeah, thank you. And I think I will start with my family. I have a father and mother, and I have a younger brother. They're all settled in the UK now. And I have my paternal grandmother. And I grew up in Erimanur, near Thotupuzha, belonging to Kothamangalam Diocese. And I had my primary studies in a local school near to me, the English medium. And later I moved to Deepal Public School in Thotupuzha. That's why my basic education lies in Kerala. And after my 9th standard, the family migrated to UK. And I went to Thomas Becket Catholic School. And we were settled in Northampton. I went to Thomas Becket Catholic School in Northampton, after which I worked for 1 year in Barclay Card. So that's basically my life before joining the seminary. And maybe as childhood, we can call it. This is a year of growing up. And this is, as you said, this is the golden time that we have. And I think this is a time when I was formed. I was discovering more my faith, my love for Jesus, especially the moment I received the First Holy Communion, after which I became an altar server. And again, coming to UK and becoming involved in the church. So this was the golden time. And this is a time where we all cherish because we are free. And
And when did you discern your vocation to the priesthood?
That's a very interesting question, actually. In the sense, still I was in 7th standard. I wanted to be, to be a doctor. And later, when I was in 8th standard, I was suddenly a desire came to me that I want to join the seminary and be a priest. So I was not knowing what is like the actual cause for that. I was wondering, is it true or is it right? But from 8th standard onwards, I think I developed a strong desire to be a priest. It would have come from maybe I was very active in the parish when I was in Kerala. I was an altar boy and I was part of CML. And I was always there for all kind of competitions and activities of the parish. I used to read a lot about the lives of the saints. And I think that is one of the major reasons why I think that a strong desire came to me. Later, when I attended a retreat in Christine in Kottayam, at the end of my 8th standard, I was sure that this is the thing that I want to be a priest and I want to join seminary. So that's the moment I discerned that I want to be. That's the moment I decided that I want to be a priest, and I kept it up all throughout the years, and it never changed. I never had a flicker of any doubt that whether I want to be or I should not be or nothing like that. I was absolutely sure.
Okay, that's wonderful. Yeah. And what was the reaction of your family, your immediate family, your grandfather, your parents, your brother, and maybe your co-workers also? Yeah.
When I was in 8th standard, I shared it to one of my friends that I want to be a priest. I want to join the seminary. And he said, come on, man, you have nothing else to do. And he was not willing to believe that I wanted to be a priest. So my father and my mother told, it's okay, we'll see about it. You are still only in 8th standard. It's your decision, it's your life, but let's think about it. Later, I was not willing to go to UK. I was afraid that I will lose my vocation. My mother got a job in UK when I finished my 8th. And I thought I will never go to UK because I was afraid, because we all have a cliche idea that if you go to somewhere outside India, like maybe to the West or to the Europe, you will lose your vocation because there is no much thing that is kind of supporting your vocation. But still I had to go. My whole family migrated. Then when I finished my GCSE, like equal to SSLC in India, I told my father, and my father told, okay, you wait till you finish your plus 2 or your A levels. You have, take 2 more years of time to discern. So I said, okay. And I finished my A levels. So all throughout this time, I was adamant that I want to be in the seminary. So I was keeping going on telling my parents that I want to be in the seminary, I want to join the seminary. And they were saying, okay, it's your decision, you take time and decide. Later, they might have thought I might not. Sometimes when I joined seminary, maybe it's a wishful thinking, I might change my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And later, some of my friends, like family friends, used to come and tell me, no, you shouldn't go for priesthood. This is not your calling. And priesthood is not for people like you. You are good at studies. You continue with your studies. You look after your family. And you are still young and you still have a lot of time to think about it. And you have a younger brother. You have to look after your brother. And all those things they were going on telling me. So I was still adamant, I think. Mm-hmm. The more they discouraged me, I think I grew in desire that whatever come, whatever may, I want to join the seminary. So many of them came and told me, sometimes to my home, and sometimes when they saw me, even my teachers at school, they asked me, like, is this the only thing that you have to do? You can do something else, you can do something better. And my vice principal of my school asked me, like, you sure you want to join seminary? You have nothing better to do. You can do a lot of better things, you know. And all this kind of discouragement came from a lot of places, like family and friends. But still, I kept on going.
Yeah.
Then later also, when I worked after my A levels for 1 year in Barclaycard, and I was working as in the fraud detection department. And later I moved on to the IT service desk. And the moment when I, decided to join the seminary, my mother asked me, you should do a degree after A levels. And I said, no, I cannot wait for another 3 years. I don't trust myself. Sometimes I may change my mind, no. But still I just want to go to seminary. I don't want to waste another 3 years. So I said, no, I will not do a degree. So I chose as I will work for 1 year maximum, because if I stayed for 1 more year, I would get a permanent visa. Okay. So I stayed for another year, and when I said goodbye to my team in Barclaycard, they were like asking me, are you gonna get engaged? I said, no. Did you get a proposal? No. Are you getting married? No. And they were also, I said, I'm going to join the seminary. And they were like, what? They were like, what? You're going to become a priest?
Yeah.
Are you sure? They couldn't believe.
Okay.
So that's how, the reaction of my friends, some, like what I said, they were shocked, and some of them made fun of me. Okay. But it was not something, that put me down. I found more strength when they, sometimes made fun of me, or sometimes discouraged me, or they tried to patronize me and say, no, you shouldn't go. You should look after your family and all those things. Priesthood is not for people like you. But yeah, mixed reactions. But my father and my mother always keep telling me, it's your life. It's your decision. You make your choice. But it was very hard for them to accept for some time that, when I left for the seminary, they went through a hard time. I think it took them around 3 years to come to terms with the fact that I joined the seminary. Okay. And sometimes my father kept on asking me, are you going to stay or are you going to come back? Whenever I went for vacation. And my brother was also very, he felt very, bad. I can say bad. He felt down because he lost my company. And we were like, thick friends kind of attitude, bro. Mm-hmm. And he also took some time to come to terms with it. And my cousins and used to ask me, just don't try to fool me. Just tell me, when are you going to come back? So I said, I'm not going to come back. But it took all of them a few years to, come to terms, because I was a very naughty kid. Yeah. I was very, very vibrant and I was just running around and doing a lot of very much active in all areas of life, in sports and arts and all those things. And they couldn't believe I'm going to go to seminary. So it was a shock for them. Yeah. And it was a very strong decision for me to make. But yeah, I never felt so hard a decision, but when I made it, because I was adamant. But yeah, they took some time to come to terms with it. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And on the same lines, I'm wondering, how come you had to come back to India to do your priestly studies? You were migrated to the UK. You could have easily stayed in some seminary over there.
Again, I had a strong, affinity to India and especially Kerala. I always wanted to be a priest here in Kerala. I was just discerning what should I do with my priesthood. And I had a strong love for this country and for this place. And I really wanted to be a priest here. And then I thought, again, if I become a priest in UK, I might get stuck there. Like I will not be able to do any ministry in Kerala. But if I become a priest in Kerala, I still have a chance to go and work anywhere in the world also. Yeah. I'm not saying that if you become a priest in Europe, you cannot go anywhere, but I'm saying. And again, I really wanted to join seminary in Kerala because I felt it would be more vibrant. It would be more fun. It will be more energetic to join a seminary in Kerala. I don't know. I had a strong desire that I want to come back to India. I loved Malayalam. I loved Kerala. And I want to study in a seminary here. And I want to be a missionary also. So they called me, they pushed me, my parish priest and my neighboring parish priest in UK. They really pushed me, come and join us. Come and join the diocese. I lived in Northampton in UK. So I still remember I was active in those parishes too as an altar boy and like that. So they were going on asking me, please do come and join our diocese. And I said, no, I really want to join a missionary congregation. And that's the time when I was looking for congregations. Okay. When I was there in UK, so that was between like 2003 to 2008. Yeah, there was no vocation camp as such, but I only knew a limited number of congregations. But I did not want to join the diocese. I always had a liking towards to be a missionary. So I was looking, and that's the time when I came to know about MSFS congregation. That is through Father Benny. Okay. He just came to a nearby parish and he was a parish priest. But he did not ask me to join the congregation, but I really loved the charism and the way of the congregation. I thought, okay, this is something that I can do, or this is a thing for me. Some of the congregations I found maybe is a tough for me. Some congregations I said, no, I don't like it there, or I don't like. So I was like confused where to join. The seminary was there, but I don't know where to join. And I'm sure I don't want to join a diocese, and that's also not in the UK. I want to come to Kerala, and I want to choose which congregation I have to go to. And later only went through Father Benny and some other people there in Northampton, our prayer group leader. We had a strong prayer group in Northampton. So when my mother migrated, the Northampton NHS took around 50 nurses at a stretch. Okay. So there's like 50 families, and they formed a strong prayer group. So every Saturday they used to gather. Every Saturday we used to gather in a home and we used to pray, like run for 1 or 2 hours. And when the families also came, this prayer group became large. And it was a very beautiful experience. Okay. And one person like one Tommy Xavier, he introduced the MSFS congregation actually to me. Okay. Later I came to know Father Benny when he came there, that a priest belonging to MSFS congregation. Later the provincial came and visited me. So that's how I came to know more about MSFS congregation. I decided that I will join. And I was happy that they had a seminary here and they had all the education of seminary education here. So I thought, yeah, I will go and have a good time in the seminary there. So I'll become a priest there. So I think it's a mixed thing. My liking towards the country, to Kerala, and to the language Malayalam. I want to celebrate Mass in Malayalam really badly. So I thought I have to join there. And again, I thought, okay, maybe this is a fertile soil for me to grow up as a priest, to get formed than in Europe or elsewhere. That's why I joined.
That's interesting. Very, very nice. Father, I would like to know your how long have you been a priest, and also your thoughts and comments on your life as a priest and the life before that, the challenges.
Yeah. So like I said, I joined the seminary in 2008. So I joined the MSFS congregation 2008 in June in SFS Seminary Ettumanur. And later I went to the novitiate in Mysore, and later I finished, I went through degree in philosophy studies in Suvidya College in Electronic City. Afterwards, I finished my theological studies in Tejas, and I was ordained on 2017 on December 30th. I was ordained by Bishop Ephraim Natigulam of Chanda Diocese, Mission Diocese. And it's been around 5 years that I've been a priest. And you're asking me what's my thoughts before and after I became a priest, and there's like a very mixed reactions, I suppose, because before I joined seminary, there were a lot of expectations that, maybe this is seminary life is going to be very dry. maybe seminary life is going to be all prayers and, you be just maybe not so exuberant or dynamic. But I found seminary life so delightful, so dynamic, so vibrant. I really enjoyed my seminary life. And as I grew in my years of formation in seminary life, I discovered more about priesthood. My concept of who a priest is, what a priest is supposed to be, how a priest is supposed to function changed, evolved. So as I said, I grew up with a Jesus youth background, and I grew up in a prayer group in Northampton. And all these things helped me to develop an attitude that I want to maybe enter into a missionary life and a preaching ministry. And therefore, I always had that goal in mind, that I want to enter into pastoral preaching and missionary life. So later, when I discovered more about priesthood during my seminary life, I found that there is more to priesthood than just preaching all these things. Priesthood is more deep. Priesthood is more wide. There's lots of possibilities, and there are a lot of areas where you can help people. So I never thought of all these things before I joined the seminary, but I was slowly exploring and discovering how much a priest can do in the society, how much they expect from a priest, and how much they love to receive lots of things about the divine, about God, about faith and things from a priest. It's not about just celebrating masses. It's not about just hearing confessions. It's more to it it's like another personality. You become kind of another person when you become a priest. You don't find it like drastically nothing changed. I was so waiting in anticipation for the day of ordination. I was wondering, okay, something might happen. I may get some experience. Apart from, getting tired during all the ceremony, and especially during all the photo shoot and all those things. And apart from the ordination went like so smooth. I never realized, okay, just few hours before I was not a priest. Now, few hours later, I'm a priest, but nothing changed. I'm the same. But slowly you realize that you are becoming another personality. You're becoming another self. Like there's a transition happening in you. Your way of life changes. You as a person has a different personality, different outlook. You are expected to live. You are expected to fulfill lots of expectations people have on you. People depend a lot on you for a lot of things. People expect a lot from you. And I have a role to play. I have to fulfill a role and responsibility that the Lord has kept for me. So I think more than what I think before and what I think after becoming a priest, my way of thinking has changed.
Wonderful.
How I deal with people, how I deal with situations. My character changed a lot. When I was in my home before I joined the seminary, I feel I was short-tempered and I was more angry. But slowly it went away. I feel like I was able to be more cheerful when I joined the seminary. I found more happiness in this way of life. And when I became a priest, I think the way I look at the world, the way I look at life, the way I look at life changed. Now I have to make sure that every person who comes to me lives more happily than they met me. Mm-hmm. And I found that I have a role that I should help people to recognize God, to discover God. So that changed the way I dealt with people and dealt with situations. I found that every day I'm realizing there is more to priesthood. Uh-huh. And there's not a single day that I thought, whoa, this is going to be boring. No, there's nothing more to it. I've reached the end of the line. No. Every day I am discovering more and more.
Wonderful.
Every day I'm finding new possibilities and new horizons where I can function upon, where I should get more familiarized with. I should move more deeper into. So every day is a challenge. Every day is an adventure. Every new day is a new beginning where I have to learn something new. I have to give something new to somebody. I have to make a change in the life of somebody. So the way I lived changed.
Wonderful.
But I did not experience it in a single moment. It was a slow and gradual process. I grew in my approach and in my personality, in my character. And I grew in my vision of life and in the goal of my life. So there's a gradual change I feel. Mm-hmm. That I have evolved from a naughty And and naughty, dynamic boy jumping around and pulling legs and making jokes and fun, to a seminarian who had chosen a way of life, and I have to make sure that I don't fall off. And I stay in the seminary and I become a priest, come whatever may, because that's what I've set out to do. And a lot of people are eagerly waiting and seeing whether this man is going to be a priest or not. And after becoming a priest, now I realize, whoa, I'm a priest now. Now I have to be a little more mature. And maybe I have to be a little more, take responsibilities a little more. But there's a lot of fun to it. There is a lot of purpose to it. Now I realize that life has got a purpose.
Absolutely.
More than any time, life has got a purpose.
Yes.
And I have to be at the service. I have to be available and I have to be there for the people. That gives me more motivation, a more sense of alertness and all those things. And I find that life is an adventure. Like a priesthood is always an adventure. You meet new people. A lot of people come into your life. You make a change in the people. And because of you, when you see after meeting you, a person comes with tears and they goes back with a smile, and that fills your day.
Absolutely.
And when I went for shooting and I fell down, my leg got stuck. And later the sacristan told me, you had a kind of a seizure. You just fell down and you fell to one side and you had a seizure. They were afraid. And this brother told me, don't tell this to a lot of people, because if you have any kind of epilepsy, you cannot continue. Because and I told my provincial that I'm having this brain tumor. At the moment they said it is benign. The doctor tells it's benign. It's not malignant, but it can be until the